I am wondering, for the hardcore Trump fan, what, if anything, would lead them to stop supporting Donald Trump at this point? Now, I know what you're thinking. Absolutely nothing. And I think that you're actually right. But when you ask them, sometimes they come up with a thing that could lead them to stop supporting him. Here is one woman from the Tulsa rally, what she said would end her support for Donald Trump.
Is there anything that Trump can do that would make you lose your support for him?
Commit adultery on his beautiful, classy wife. She's amazing. She is what every American First Lady should be.
I know what you're probably thinking. With that, wait. Wait a second. Didn't he? But that is interesting. Of all of the things, it's not, like, I don't know, something to do with Saudi Arabia or, I don't know. It's the adultery specifically. It's one of the things he is perhaps best known for outside of real estate.
Really good at it.
Through, like, he tried to brand himself for decades as a playboy that cheats on his wives. And she still thinks, well, I mean, if he ever crossed that line, that would be it. And so anyway, look, that was obviously not lost on the interviewer, who followed up with this.
Well, what about the Stormy Daniels thing? Because he was married to her at that time.
That was years ago before he ever became president. Nobody is accountable for what he done when he was a lot younger.
So she says no one's accountable for what they did when they were a lot younger. And I thought, well, okay, that seems ridiculous. But we do believe that the longer ago you did something, that should matter. And if he was much younger, maybe that matters. And so I looked into it. And the affair allegedly happened in 2006. And I looked up his age. So he would have been 60. 60 years old. It is a lot younger. It's 14 years younger. It's not young, though. That was also the same year that he apparently had an affair with Karen McDougal. Both of these affairs, of course, happening shortly after his wife gave birth to the most recent kid. Not the first affair. He had many other affairs, by the way. Well, come on. I can't talk about this while the cat's. That is a very adorable
when
cat.
you talk about, grabbing him by the P word, I just had to grab my P word.
Oh my God. Anyway, so look, the only reason I think we need to see this is the question was, what would lead you to stop supporting him? And to her credit, she came up with something. The issue is, it is something that he has already done, which to me says, look, for 29 to 31% of the country, there is literally nothing he could do. They might play ball and come up with something, but it isn't actually a standard that he could break. And because in many cases he already has. And so
then what you can keep going down the rabbit hole with this woman. You could have been like, well, what about a man who is on death row for a crime, for killing someone, 30 years ago when he was a lot younger. Like,
you can't blame him for something he did when he was a lot younger. Yeah.
Exactly.
So,
and again, it feels ableist when you make fun of Trump supporters. It really does. But I think back to John's point, let's remember who is taking the most advantage of them, who is putting them at the most risk. It's the people who are lying to them, who are getting them to vote against their own interests, who feed them conspiracy theories nonstop online. Mm-hmm. Those are the people who are truly playing with their lives. We're just observing the ignorance, but I'm not trying to make money off of it.
Yeah, exactly. And look, one of the reasons I think that we need to take stock of this sort of person and the millions of them that there are in this country is I see some people getting very complacent about the polls and how look, Biden's like winning in the polls or whatever. Like, there's still debates and there's still months and things can change fast. They changed fast over the past few months. They could change back. And really, this isn't about what he could do to lose their support, because that's a nonsense conversation. You just saw it. It is nonsense.
Yes.
It's what he could do and not lose their support. You want to know a few of those things? All the stuff of the past few years that we reported on, obviously, the kids in cages, killing people abroad, all that stuff. But also... He's
impeached.
Being impeached, presiding over a pandemic where 120,000 plus people, just in the official count, have died. stoking racial tensions against people who are fighting for law enforcement reform. All these things recently, they did not get her to stop supporting him. His complete lack of interest in a pandemic that is still ravaging the country, which we're going to turn to in a minute, that didn't do it. For more political news breakdowns, interviews, stories of activism, and me trying my hardest to care about the occasional big celebrity news story, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/The Damage Report. And you can ring the bell wherever it is so you don't miss anything.